Right there, folks, and welcome back to Are We There Yet with the Clyde boys. You can see on your screen our balance is 941,000 in the bank. If you look to the top right-ish of your screen now, date is mid-late May. How did we do? You can see it's already classed it as last season on the profit of £1.1 million. For tax purposes, apparently 1.6 million. So that's interesting. 271,000 loss already this season. We were going to come back for the Dunfermline game, which was the final game of the season, but as you'll see in just a second, if I take you down to the bottom of the fixtures, your last appearance was the Killy 2-2 draw, your last viewing. Following that, we managed to win every game. We're only conceding one goal. So I was bemoaning a leaky defence and an inability to convert games into wins. And we followed that up with convincing wins across the board, which is odd to say the least. Inverness, we managed to beat 2-0. First win at home in practically 3 months. So that was good. I think that set us on our way then. And then we beat Wraith by 4-1 at Starks Park. And then the big one, Ayr United in second place at the time. A 2-0 win, late doors, Somerset Park rocked by Hamilton and Wallace. We took that really. That was the game that really saw us push on. You can see they're first in Scottish Championship, so you know what's coming. 2-0 then at home to St Mirren, so another home win. First half show though, Drew McCreath and an Adam Livingston own goal, and then a 4-0 win to wrap up things at relegated. It turned out this was the game that sent Dunfermline into League One. They were in the relegation playoff place at on the start of the game, but it was Falkirk who managed to achieve you can see there Ayr United lost the playoff final against Premier League Ross. So that's, you have to click about 500 buttons. Falkirk going down anyway. They must have lost the playoff. I think they lost to... I don't have to think. We can just go down. Oh, good lord. Cowdenbeath. So they're into the Championship. Dumbarton and Cowdenbeath promoted. The Premier League itself, you can see Queen of the South dropping into the Championship. Terrible season. Hopefully that's not what we'll do next year. If we're here, if we aren't, probably will be what happens. But in terms of, if I eventually am able to load up the league table, 79 points to 60 in second place. So we were never really being caught, to be quite honest. With those 5 games remaining, we could have finished. We finished 6 wins ahead, plus a draw, ahead of schedule, ahead of the next team down, with 102 goals scored, 44 conceded, 58 plus in the goal difference. A really great season. And I decided not to show the last game because it was a bit of a dead rubber. A lot of games were, in fairness, and yes, okay, it was a great display, but not very particularly interesting. I thought instead we'd come back for a bit of a wrap-up of the squad and what we might now do in this journeyman, because this journeyman's only seen one club, not really a journey. So top performer for us, Drew McCreath, 43 starts, 38 goals and 24 assists, 7.94. The Manchester United trainee on loan from Hearts. He's been it was a masterstroke of a signing, in fairness, and key to us having any chance, not just to stay up, but also, as it turns out, to be promoted. Dingwall, really good before his injury, decent after it, I would say. Obviously, he's only scored 1 or 2 goals since he returned from his injury. A little bit disappointing, perhaps, after that. He's 6.92 in his last 5, indicative of that, representative of the fact that he was not quite up to at his best. He is actually now a club legend. And fair play. 1 goal in his first 10 in League One. Last season came alive and continued that in the Championship. Like a lot of these players, are they going to be good enough for the Premier League? Robert Fleck's loan deal, he spent 2 years, 2 glorious... 3 years it'll be, because we had him on... In fact, no, that one doesn't count. 3 years, 2 in League One, 1 in the Championship. He's just been getting better and better each year. Is he good enough for the Premier League? He's probably not good enough for the Championship, is he? So... you have to take these and think we've just carried the team through in good form. John Smith, likewise, another good season from him. 54 goals in 64 games for Clyde now. 27 of which this season, 27 last season. So he's very consistent. Slight drop-off in his average rating, but with the increase of the league, that's probably to be expected. So you can see, really, it's the strikers at the top. Aaron Dunsmore, a good signing as well, a good wing back. He's proved to be. Scored a couple of goals late doors as well as we push for promotion. 9 assists from the right wing back, and you can think if we had better players, if we had better crossers of the ball, fullbacks are really going to be key, and that's where Stephen Miller comes in. He's a good player as well, on loan from Dundee. 27 games, no goals, 1 in the League Cup, but nothing in the league. 10 assists though, so he's certainly adding goals to the team. Dylan McKendry, a bit of a stalwart now, 104 appearances, so he's into 3 figures. Certainly a very good player, a very good Celtic trainee for us. St Mirren in real life as we stand. Bought for £8,500 in League One and worth every penny as it turns out. Then we start to really come down, and to be honest, George Clark is the only player there of any real quality. He's started to really improve. You can see there he's got the 4-star potential. 35 games. He's already got 3 goals under his belt at 17. And you think he's going to be a bit of a prospect for us. Probably have him poached at some point. Alex Petkoff, the man who came in and took Morgan Neal's shirt just because Morgan picked up that broken pelvis. He just recovered in time to watch us lift the Scottish Championship League trophy. But yeah, Alex Petkoff did decent when he came in. Certainly improved towards the end of the season as our form picked up. 6.95 overall, but a 7.34 more in keeping of what we wanted in his last 6. James Loveridge certainly on his way out now. A winger that never really adapted to the formation that we now play, which is just the kick and rush, or currently play at least. Kieran Miller, Jack McKenzie, Sean Rooney, Ross Quinn, Liam Brown, Kenny Fitzpatrick, making up the numbers, but bit part players at best, and certainly not good enough for the Premier League's SPL. So that's the team. We've given Blair Curry a new contract. I mean, he's played 176 times for us, all of them for me. So he's our goalkeeper. You can see he's missed all but 3 league games this season. They were due to injuries that Ian Cox played, and we could be very pleased. I think we have to be delighted with the rise there, finishing first. There'll be another one chopped on top of that. So we took over. We finished 3rd in our first season in League 2, 9th, just survived final day in the relegation playoffs to stay in League 1. That was a vital, pivotal moment. Then 2nd in League 1 the season after that. Unfortunate not to be promoted. Followed that up there with a championship performance. We were champions of League 1, and we followed that up again with champions of the League Championship. So we go into the Premier League in high spirits, certainly. What's it mean for us? Well, we're wanted. We're wanted by some decent sides. Peterborough, Swansea, Watford and Aberdeen have wanted us for some time, even though they've just appointed a new manager. So I'm not overly sure why they're looking at that. We're the top candidate, apparently. The fans consider us leading candidate for Watford. I've not applied. I didn't even know Swansea were interested, so let's see where Swansea are. Watford are mid-table in the Championship. I think they finished 12th. Swansea just relegated from the Premier League, so they'll certainly have Premier League money. You have to, let's be honest, it's a huge step up if we can attract these kind of jobs. It's whether it's the right job for us or whether it's too much too soon. If you look at our stats again, we really don't have it, and we don't have a pro license as well, which is unfortunate. We're due to complete the A license this coming November, so I don't know. I don't see us ever really being given having enough funds to survive in this league. We haven't got a good enough team. You can see there our budget's down for the coming year, 186,000 transfer and 13 grand in the wages. We've been under wage budget since we arrived, in fairness, so it really is a case of trying to pick up these players, but it could be a complete reform of the squad. If we just take a look at the contracts situation, you can see there's a lot of players pretty well, they're upwards. So from Fitzpatrick up to Brown on the screen at least, those are contracts that are expiring this year. Obviously we lose our loan players, so you can sort of ignore those. But first team players in there are Colin Hamilton and Morgan Neal. If we take out the loan players plus the players who are due to expire, that's a big half of the squad missing. Is MacArthur good enough for Premier League? No. Dingwall? No. McKendry? No. Petkoff? No. And that goes on. So it's going to be a difficult one to say when is the right time to leave. but I think we just need to wait for the right job to open up. I'm just going to continue on just a few days just to see if anything exciting happens. Obviously, I was waiting for the league campaign to complete in full, and we saw that then with Ayr United's failure to join us in the Premier League at the expense of Ross County. So you see, what we got now is awards night, basically. New average rating record for McCreath, 7.87. Ross McCrory, sorry, that's a championship record. Ross McCrory previously had that with, assumedly with Morton. He's a very good player, isn't he? He's a very, very good player. I don't know if he might be a player that we can tempt in with the money we have. They found that unacceptable, £3,000, which is probably fair. We might revisit that. Drew McCreath setting a record 29 goals in the championship. Smashes a record set some years ago now. 3 years ago, just 16. McCreath again, 15 assists, and replaces the Ezekiel record. He must, assumedly achieved that with Hamilton, our nemesis. McCreath, he's had a good year, hasn't he? Player of the year. Championship player of the year, 7.87, as we said, 29 goals, 33 appearances, and 15 assists. I'd be annoyed if I haven't won manager of the year, to be quite honest. Is there a manager of the year award? No, they don't bother with such gimmicks. You can see manager of the month, though we have won it several times this season. And what we're going to do is we're just going to race on till we get till the 1st of June, and then we'll call it there, just to see if anything does occur and any end of season wrap up information that I can give you just to keep us ticking over before we have any kind of plans for what might be in next season. This might well have been our final games with Clyde. I'm not overly sure, so if there's anything to report, I'll be back with you in just a moment. Right then, folks, so 1st of June, nothing really has happened. We've released Kyle Johnson, we've offered new deals to a couple of the players whose contracts were going to expire, Morgan Neal and Colin Hamilton, just to keep players ticking around the dynamics for starters. I mean, in the hierarchy, they're highly influential players, so they're good to keep around. Johnson was down in the other players list, so we don't want to destroy the squad, even though realistically they're both not good enough. So that's how we look. Stephen Miller is on a 2-year deal, so that's good news at least for Clyde. Whether or not we stay is up for discussion. The jobs at Watford and Swansea are not available to us. We weren't offered interviews. We didn't apply for any interviews with them, so it's not that we've been laughed out the door. It's just that they've pursued other interested parties. So what will happen is, if there's any news, follow me on Twitter at KnockItWide, and I will keep you up to date there. Otherwise, as well, if there's no news, then we'll stay at Clyde, obviously. I think if there's any updates, I will let you know straight away. If there's any decisions to be made, you'll be involved. If there is just a job that I like, then I'll take that, and I'll see you for pre-season. There's a bit of an announcement video for that. So it's an exciting summer. It's going to be an exciting summer because a lot could change. Thank you very much for watching. Do pop a like on there for the Championship. The SPL awaits, possibly. And I'll see you again on that very next video. Goodbye.